What's up, people? World. It is Thursday. And, just want to make a video today. No specific topic, so just gonna roll with it and just have some fun. So, just gonna talk about a bunch of random stuff. So, bear with me. Anyways, today went really well. Had a good day overall, and can't complain at all. Even if I did, would it do any good? Probably not. But hey, that's all right. Anyways, work went well. The day went well. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but tidbit, I am not a fan of cold weather. I do not like it. So to me, anything in the 50s, I consider that cold. And I don't like it. So I can deal with 60s, but once you start dropping below, nope, don't like it. Which actually, you know what, brings me to a story then. We'll go with it. Like I said, randomness, but we'll go with it. Alright, so I used to work at this truck accessory warehouse years ago, and most warehouses are, what do they call them, like, there's a word for it, but environmentally something. Sorry, brain's a little off today, but anyways, so basically when it would get hot, it would be super hot, in the warehouse. If it got, winter time, it would get cold. So pretty much the elements, whatever the elements were outside, is pretty much what you got in the warehouse. So, there were obviously your office spaces had their own, heaters, and all that stuff. But for the most part, it was, however the environment was, that's how the warehouse was. So anyways, I was working there for a good significant amount of time, and I remember I was kind of just getting moved around, doing different little jobs here and there, little tasks or functions, whatever you want to call it. And I had never worked in that type of work environment before, so I was kind of just, doing what I could to make sure I was, leaving a good impression or whatever, showing good work ethic, which I've always done. And so, well, it got noticed. So I think after about a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, I ended up getting handpicked to work in this other room, a particular room, basically painting rims, race car rims or whatever. So I was like, okay, never done it before, and I'm gonna be working with some equipment and stuff that I never ever come across in any job I've done. So I was just like, oh, okay. And what happened was that originally there were 2 people that do this particular job, and one person actually got a promotion. The other person stuck around, stayed there. Well, to work in that particular room, you need two people. It's just how it works. You need 2 people to do that particular job. So I got handpicked to, fill that spot. Now, these guys had been working together for years, and everybody knew them as a team. Pretty much thought that they was pretty much inseparable, is how everybody put it. Wasn't necessarily the case. So anyways, when the guy got the promotion, I think the other person kind of felt a certain way about it, because a lot of people in the warehouse started kind of like making jokes and talking about he was going to be the guy's boss and this and that, telling him what to do. He did not like that at all. He didn't take too kindly to it, and you could definitely tell in his demeanor. And then at one point, we noticed the guys were not talking to each other at all anymore. No communication whatsoever. It was like they were like total strangers. They didn't even know each other. And folks who had been there in the warehouse for years was like, they never thought they would see the day where these two would not interact with each other at all. And so I was like wondering about it too, and I was like, well, dang, I didn't. For one, once I found out what all I'd be doing in there, I was not a fan of it, and definitely more physical than I could have anticipated. However, there were some perks to it as well, but it wasn't my cup of tea. So anyways, the guy had been in his new position, promotional position or whatever, and I would say probably for maybe about a month or whatever. And so the guy that I was working with, his old partner, we're doing as much as we can. Orders are still constantly coming in. We're filling them as best as we can or whatever. For the most part, I think we were, right at, like, I don't want to say we were ahead, and we would sometimes get behind, but it was more so like maybe like a day's worth or whatever. So we were kind of pretty close to, I think, like catching up and then actually being able to stay on top of our orders. Well, this one particular day, I remember I was working, and I'm loading up the line or whatever to hang these rims and everything and get painted and stuff. Well, I seen my partner, and I was kind of looking at him throughout the day, and I noticed he just had this look in his eyes, and it was like he was very quiet that day too. And that's why I was kind of noticing, like, something's up, because he's not really talking, minimal discussions, if anything. And so I was like, well, I wonder what's wrong? What's bugging him? And so I remember he comes up to me, and this is like, we started our shift at like 6, I want to say. 6 o'clock. So it's about like close to break time, which we usually take a break around like between 8:30 and 9 or whatever. And so he comes up to me and he was like, Ronnie, it's been nice working with you. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, nice working with you as well. Didn't think nothing of it until after the break was over. And he hadn't come back. And so people were like, well, where's he at? And I was like, I don't know. I said, I think he went to break. Then you have people coming in the room talking about like, oh man, I think he's gone. I think he left. I was like, what are you talking about? His car's not there. He's gone. And so one of the workers who had made the joke about him, potentially having to take orders from his new boss or whatever, he was like, oh man, he's like, I know he's gone now. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, his certificate on the wall is gone. So for this particular position or whatever, you had to have like a certification to do certain things. So pretty much everybody knew, like, well, if he took his certification off the wall, he's most likely gone and he is not coming back. And here I am, still new, left with a bunch of orders to fill that I barely know how to fill. I know the job, I know the function, but there's more to it than just what I know. And so, folks thinking that, oh, he just left, he'll be back or whatever. He never came back. He never came back, so I was ultimately the one stuck in there having to try to figure out how to do the job, pretty much. Is what I had to do. And let me tell you, I figured it out for the most part, but that was definitely what'd they say? That was definitely a lesson I could have done without. When you work a job, there is a level of professionalism. And I'm telling you right now, to leave a person high and dry, well, I've heard about people walking off the job due to working conditions, but this was different. And I felt like this was more personal than, business. And they say you don't mix the two. But, I guess knowing that, the guy did say, he enjoyed working with me, that was kind of a positive. But man, I was like, wow. What did they say? Left stuck holding the bag. That's exactly what happened. So, needless to say, I did learn a lot doing that function. But in the end, that was my last stop as well. And I got up out of there once a job that I was trying to get came along. So, yeah, that was something that I'll never forget. Definitely built some character, I can tell you that much. But, yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to share that little story after all, I guess. Even though I didn't originally have one. But, yeah, so, curious. Has that happened to any of you out there? Have you been working a job and may say like you and one other person or maybe multiple people, and then all of a sudden they just either up and quit, and you have no idea until like later on, like they're not coming back, so you're left stuck doing the job all alone. So anyways, hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.